Hello, and I'm Steve Cooper with this weather briefing from Extreme Weather page. Just as I promised you, I was going to make a new forecast video for noon into 2 o'clock. And let's go ahead and get right started on your forecast soundings, as well as let you know what's up for today. Looking at the latest frontal systems that we're watching right now, we have a very nice setup for the forecast period. Looks like we have a warm front back over into Louisiana, extending on up into the Plain States, and even tying in with Kansas City. Now, as we can see here, the warm air is basically moving its way a little bit slowly northward, and in return that will increase our wind speeds in terms of bringing warmer air further northward you go, which will actually bring our temperatures up for both nighttime lows and daytime highs for the next several days. In the meantime, while the warm front is lifting northward, we also have warm moist air that is increasing ahead of the cold frontal system you see here, which is dilated across Oklahoma, down and through portions of Kansas, down and through portions of Arkansas and Texas, where it looks like that will be our primary setup for the possibility for some strong, even some nasty, severe storms. Best chance for storms will appear to be across Oklahoma and into parts of northern Texas, but it does not look like a very widespread event at all. Looking at the latest models for today as far as the forecast soundings go, I've just recorded this earlier this morning and still continues. I'm not going to be changing it at all. Actually, this is from NOAA. Got lots of energy pulling up across the Plain States. Looks like that will continue to be the case throughout the day today, and that's why there's going to be so much enhanced instability to create possibly strong to severe storms. Some of those could produce a couple of tornadoes, some large hail, as well as destructive winds, but you know, you can't rule out seeing the storms quickly die out just as much as they develop as well. We're going to keep an eye on conditions today and find out what happens for sure as we approach the coming hours. Looking at today's outlook, this is tomorrow's outlook, of course. We'll go ahead and look at tomorrow. You got a lot of areas of concern here for severe weather, which is pulling across a good chunk of Montana down through central and northern Oklahoma and all the way through Kansas City. These are the areas where tornadoes will most likely be seen, which could be very strong and violent in some cases. Keep in mind, because there's the high risk of severe storms, including tornadoes, that does not necessarily mean that you're going to see enhanced higher tornado touchdowns or large tornado touchdowns. It just means that there's a good possibility for it to keep yourselves aware of the situation, that it's more than likely to happen according to SPC related forecasts. Thomas convection outlook basically also indicating there could be some storms fire up along Arkansas today, parts of Missouri down and through Texas. That's where storms may fire out today, and that's where I'm also thinking storms may fire out today as well, according to his hot spots. And I want to explain more about the situation why, because well, mainly the reason is because we have a cold front that is lined up from parallel from portions of the Plain States moving eastward, while there's that warm front that is associated moving across portions of the Louisiana Delta and moving northward into the Tennessee Valley. That will therefore cause the air to rise further, and which will warm conditions pretty rapidly throughout much of the week, and that will in return increase favorable dynamics for the possibility for severe storms beginning today across Oklahoma, Kansas City, parts of northwestern Arkansas, and maybe down through parts of Texas. These areas will likely see maybe a chance for storms increase throughout the overnight hours as well. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't even be surprised to see a little bit of the threat move into southwest Tennessee and along Arkansas for the day tomorrow. Now again, the main threats will be the possibility for large hail. You can see 2 inches in diameter of hail or more. Destructive winds that can be over 60 miles per hour, and even a lot of deadly cloud ground lightning is going to be carried, but definitely watch out for quite a bit of heavy rainfall. There's some good news to some of the forecasts actually I want to spread out to you. Again, we have that cold front that is moving across Texas and areas including that dry line. The good news is, though, is if we can get the moisture to override the boundary, and once the moisture starts to override the boundary, I do think that more of official showers and thunderstorms will keep some of the atmosphere cooler across the plains, and that will in return lessen the enhanced chance for tornadoes. If we can keep conditions more cooler, that will actually make conditions more stable than unstable. But again, we'll have to see what happens during the afternoon hours, as there's a 50% chance of a bust or possibly tornadic development. My tornadic chances have changed relatively down to 20%, while it looks like confidence is not very high on that as well. If anything, up 5% values. I want to go ahead and take a look at the enhanced forecast outlook today. Again, not looking at all that much of a big setup at all, except what may occur across Kansas City and parts of Oklahoma. I do think that mostly everybody across the region shouldn't have much to worry about, except maybe a couple of big hail producers, as well as a lot of damaging wind and heavy rainfall. Tornado threat will be conditional upon the atmospheric conditions, as well as upon enhanced wind shear development. Now, to have thunderstorms, you need the very warm and moist, unstable air to push northward along the boundaries. As that happens, this will cause the air to become unstable, therefore causing the air to rise. Once the air starts to rise, the secondary push you're going to need is a very strong cold front or cold front weak frontal system boundary. It could be either a warm front, cold front, and that's what will cause more along the lines of these storms to develop. Now, another thing that can cause storms to develop is what we call a dry line. It's very limited area from California where dry air moves in, and that will separate the much more dry air from the wet air, and that will keep basically conditions separate. But in that dry line, once the wind shear activity gets going, that can really start to spin up the moisture criteria, and that will likely cause tornadoes if the dry line continues to enhance more today. Today I'm not really looking at much going on, just except maybe some large hail producers, as well as wouldn't be surprised to see an isolated tornado or two, about much like yesterday. But really, all in all, I think it's going to be more of a boring day to see anything as far as getting any development out there. Tomorrow's threat, the cold front, the stationary front that I told you, is going to continue to move eastward, while the warm front will push northeast. That's where thunderstorms will start developing way ahead of the system. Some of these thunderstorms could be severe, producing likely tornadoes, hail, and damaging winds. But again, we have to really make sure and find out what happens as we work through the forecast period. Sunday's outlook really shows the frontal system backing itself, building more, and I think as the low pressure system starts to develop, I think that will push northeast, allowing the chance for some strong storms along the Ohio Valley. Right now it does not look tornadic. In the meantime, looking at the forecast connections for the next couple of days. As the warm front pushes northward, we'll start seeing more warmer air start pushing northward as well. This will more than likely cause a very significant warm front all across the south and southeast, therefore enhancing overnight temperatures and daytime temperatures to be quite warmer. If you see any severe weather today, please be aware. Remember that a watch means conditions are favorable for severe weather and close to the watch area, and a warning means that based on Doppler radar, severe weather has been cited by a spotter, or either there is a tornado on the ground or likely could form any time, and you need to be ready and be prepared immediately just in case severe weather is spotted. Thank you for listening to this video, and please leave any comments as possible. Again, the forecast time now is 2:12. I'm Steve Cooper, also a student for Convex, and right now we have a temperature of 69 here in Deer Lodge. Temperature is rising some, along with 31% of humidity, and our dew point update right now is 37. So hope you have a safe day out there. Watch for those storms, and if there's any watches or warnings or tracks, I'll make a video of that as well for all you chasers out there. Good luck.